What's up, guys? Good morning. It's Christmas Eve, and I've lost track of what day this is in terms of numbers, but we're here. We're heading to the city. I'm actually leaving the apartment today. That's 2 weekends in a row. Like, who am I? I know you guys are wondering, who is this? This is not Emmanuel. He's leaving the apartment 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, it's happening. So, where are we going, Emmanuel? We're going to the city. We're going to near the Times Square area. We're gonna hang out and meet up with some friends who are visiting from out of town. One of them's visiting from Australia, so he's visiting from pretty far. And the other one, I'm not sure where he's from, but he's on his way to somewhere for Christmas, and he's passing by. Funny enough, these are friends I made through an internet group, a Facebook group online, and we got pretty cool. So we figured we'd have at least breakfast together and just chat for a while as long as they're here. And today was the only day they could make it, so here I am, going to the city, Christmas Eve morning, to have breakfast. Alright, so we're here. Train ride was about 40 minutes. It's pretty quick. Walking over to the diner, pretty close by. Oh my god, it's happening. It's happening. We're meeting with internet friends. It's happening! It's happening! Guys, look, it's us they're eating. Hey, look, it's Carter. It's Carter. He has his hat. You can tell it's Carter because he has his hat on.
Wandering through the city here with two tourists. I'm keeping them safe, bodyguarding them because, you know, New York City's a rough, tough place, guys. So, Carter, how's New York City?
It's pretty great. It's better when got my two bros down.
Oh. So do you feel the same way?
Oh yeah, totally.
How are you enjoying our weather compared to Australia?
Good question. I like warm better, but I can deal with cold better, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
it's like, I don't like it, but it's fine.
We ended up passing by Macy's, and if you're not aware, Macy's does these really elaborate Christmas window displays every year for Christmas time. And they're really, really great to look at. You'll notice every year you'll see tons of people just stop to take pictures, to record a little bit, and they're really nice to look at. So I decided on my way back to just record a little bit of it and show you guys some of it.
Games. So Christmas Eve was fun, man. It was definitely a new experience for me. Not something I'm used to. I don't remember if I've ever met internet friends in real life. Wait, no, I did once. One time, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, someone I met through Instagram, and we got kind of cool. We hung out and watched a movie together. But ironically enough, after that, is it ironic? I don't know if it's ironic or not, but maybe it's not. After that, we kind of went our separate ways, and we barely even spoke much after that. Even on Instagram, like I kind of like lost track with her, and I don't even know what she's up to these days. But this was different. This was an internet Facebook group based on anime. The main, it's an anime group, and I've been in this group for years. I think both of them as well have been in this group for years, and we've gotten really cool with like a certain specific group of friends. A good big chunk of us have gotten really cool. Maybe like I think 50, 60 or something like that. And we sort of are very open to just having discussions and just everyday life things, more branched off from more of just talking about anime to opening up about a lot of other topics in our lives. And we found ways to connect. We found ways to disagree. We found ways to, at times, get angry at each other. But I think that's all part of being friends. So it was cool that these two guys who I've sort of built a certain relationship with to some extent, before even meeting them in real life, I was able to, you know, finally meet them in real life and sort of build on a relationship and take it to a different level. That's kind of different, and it's evolved a lot from when I was younger. When I was younger in high school, for example, even in early in college, social media still wasn't really a big deal. It wasn't even really around yet. All we had was all these instant messengers. So we had AIM, we had Yahoo Instant Messenger, and there was a few other ones that weren't as popular, but they were around. And then, you know, MySpace came along, Skonex. Who remembers Skonex? That joke of a website. You guys remember Skonex? If not, look it up. It was a bunch of nonsense. And at that time, there was sort of a feeling of trepidation when you would discuss anything about your personal life with a person online. Maybe, you know, you had certain fears. You had sort of this caution of being very careful about what you discussed with them, about how much you told them about yourself, because you never really knew who the person behind this screen name really was. You had no idea if they were really the person they were saying behind this screen name, or if it was someone completely different. If it was just a 40-year-old dude who wanted to be cool with kids and like hang out with them or whatever. And you were always seeing stories either online or reading about them in the paper or watching them on TV news about how some teenager would go hang out with someone they met online, and it would be a total creeper weirdo and bad stuff happened. So there was a lot of scary fears back then about that. Nowadays, it's evolved to the point where, thanks to social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these sites, apps, all these accounts. No, accounts are what we make. They're not accounts. They're websites. They're apps, right? That's what they are. Yes, they're not accounts. What am I even talking about? Have made it a lot easier to sort of connect with people on a different level, and you can kind of, with common sense and your own intelligence or your own brain, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna have to be really smart. Tell when an account is fake. You kind of know when someone's not who they're kind of trying to portray to be. So it's much easier to be open to the idea of discussing with people and talking with them and opening up about your own life with them and connecting with them. It allows you to connect with people much differently than you could back then. So this sort of happened very random. I got a message like a month ago from, was it a month ago? I don't even know if it was a month ago, from one of the guys who they just happened to have a discussion that both of them were going to be in New York City that weekend. And they were like, hey man, we know you're going to be there. You know, if you have time, why don't you come out and we'd meet up. We'd have some food or something and have a talk or something or whatever and to walk around. And I was like, hell yeah, dude, because I know these are people I've been having all these discussions with and I've sort of built a friendship with. I totally want to, you know, keep building on that friendship. Also, among the group of like 50 or 60 people we are, I've lost track of how many we really are. A big amount of them have had the opportunity to meet up with each other, and sort of just from being at the same, you know, being in the same state at the same time, or from people traveling, so they've been able to hook up and meet up and have the opportunity to talk and all this. And I've always been very jealous, and I feel like one of the cool kids now. It's like, yeah, man, I met up with these guys, and I know they're real, and now they know I'm real. Yeah, that happened. It was also kind of weird to wander the city on Christmas Eve. I'm so used to on holidays kind of just chilling and staying with the family and spending it with them. So it was sort of weird, but it was kind of cool. I was kind of shocked at how many people are wandering the city on holidays. Granted, this was, you know, late morning, early afternoon time, so, you know, people still had a lot of time to get things done and then later on get to whatever their Christmas plans were. And I would imagine traditionally in countries like here, most of Christmas activities with families happen Christmas Day. Unlike when I'm Dominican, most of the Christmas stuff happens Christmas Eve. It just so happens that this year, Christmas Eve, we actually didn't do much as a family because we all couldn't be together that day. And Granted, we ended up celebrating everything Christmas Day, so it was sort of different, I think, for that reason as well. But it was really cool, man, hanging out with these guys. And you know, if they ever are in New York City again, guys, if you're watching this, you're ever in New York City, I've told you this a bunch of times already. I told you that before we left that day. You know, hit me up. We'll hang out again. We'll talk even longer this time, and you know, wander the city even more. You guys were awesome. Yeah, so that was Christmas Eve. Please, guys, may the gains be with you. Gains!